You've been watching Mystery Unraveled. I'm Chrissy, your voice in the static. Tonight's story is called The Signalman's Recordings. Some voices fade with time, others are buried. Let's begin. I never intended to become a historian of haunted train stations. That was never the plan. I was just a podcaster. 23, broke, living in a studio apartment where the heater only worked when it was over 70 degrees outside. I ran a small show called Echoes Offline, mostly local legends, unsolved cases, occasional interviews with people who swear their toaster levitates during thunderstorms. You know, the usual. But then one email changed everything. No subject line, no name, just a single link. WR/47 echo drop.tape vault. When I clicked it, the page pulsed for a second, and then just static. Until a voice cracked through the fuzz. This is the 10th night I've heard the footsteps again. Platform 3. No one boards. No one leaves. The voice was rough, male, worn out, maybe mid-40s, with that slow mid-century cadence. And the background? It wasn't just hiss. You could hear train horns, faint echoes of people moving, announcements that didn't quite make sense. I played it 20 more times before I noticed the file name, Signalman RPT Nav 12 score 1947.mp3. The station mentioned Union Point Transit, just outside Springfield, Illinois. It had closed in 1951 after a reported structural collapse. No bodies, no lawsuits, just a quiet closure and a fence that stayed up for 74 years. Except the property records I pulled said something else. The station wasn't closed. It was sealed. By federal order. That's when I rented a car. Union Point was maybe 3 hours from my place. It wasn't listed on most GPS apps anymore. I had to find an old atlas at a thrift store in Hyde Park. The town around it looked like a ghost. Boarded shops, rusted signs, and a diner that sold gas station sandwiches for $5 a pop. And the station? It was still there, hidden behind a curtain of overgrowth and rusted wire fencing. Half the roof caved in, signs faded like forgotten gravestones. I brought a field recorder. I wasn't sure what I expected to find, but I found it. A trapdoor under the old conductor's booth. Metal ring embedded in the floor. Took me 10 minutes to force it open, and another 5 to convince myself to climb down. What I entered wasn't on any map. A single hallway. Walls lined with metal cabinets, switchboards, and rotary phones welded shut with time. At the far end, a door with a number burned into it, 47. Inside, shelves, dozens of them, lined with reel-to-reel tapes, hundreds, maybe more, all labeled in the same hand, Signalman, Night Log, Union Point. That's where the recordings begin. The first tape I digitized was dated August 2nd, 1947. The voice was the same one from the email. Union Point signal log, 11:16 p.m. Train 443 passed without scheduled stop. Manifest unknown. A single passenger disembarked. Female, no ticket on record. She asked me, "Is the night still yours?" Then vanished into Tunnel 2. No response on radio. I remember pausing the audio and just staring at my screen. "Is the night still yours?" I played the rest of the log. Most of it was technical, coded train jargon, station reports, but there were moments scattered like static that didn't fit any schedule. The mirror in the switch room cracked at 1:14 a.m. I was not present. Door 5C opened. There is no door 5C. Something watches from the tracks. It does not blink. By the third tape, the voice had changed. Not the speaker, still the same man, but something in him had shifted. Slower, less sure. You could hear the paranoia building in his breath. You could feel the weight of nights passed without sleep. And then came tape 6. I'll never forget it. I asked the passenger where she came from. She said, "Same place you're heading, eventually." Then she looked right at me, said my name. How did she know my name? That line was followed by a 7-second pause. Then, the doors are locked now. Not by me. I'm not sure who's sealing this place, but I'm not alone anymore. Jay, I swear on my show, on everything I've ever recorded, the next thing I heard was my own voice. Faint, warped, but it was me. Saying, "You're not alone anymore," but I hadn't said that. I hadn't recorded that. I was alone in my room, staring at the waveform on my laptop, frozen. Huh. And that's where we'll pause for now, because something's coming down the tracks, and it's not done speaking yet. Stay tuned for part 2 of the Signalman's recordings, where we find out what the station was really built for and who sealed it shut. You've been watching Mystery Unraveled. I'm Chrissy, your voice in the static. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and whatever you do, don't look away from the signal. This version